Hello and welcome to Wellness Wednesday emails by me, Roma. I am excited to be here. As you all already know, I am a mindset and self confidence coach for teenagers of ethnic descent. I help them anchor into themselves, most importantly, their self worth, and identify who they are, what they want to do, and who they want to become. And I love doing this work because I think that it really nourishes my soul when I see the shift in these teens going from a completely fear-based mind to then anchoring into their love, their authentic self, and maximizing their potential. So today I wanted to come here and talk to you guys about something that I am trying to do for the first time. I might do these workshops once every month. So this is the first one for this year. I'm hosting on Monday, January 30th at 12 p.m. EST to 1 p.m. EST for 1 hour, a workshop where I want to invite parents of teens or preteens, because I think one thing that really changed the way I connect and parent my kids was when I started to connect with my inner child. If you are following me on social media, I've done a few posts about how that changed my perception about myself, and of course then that impacted the relationship that was having with my kids. So why this inner child work is important. I just wanted to bring forth some of the things in your light so that you don't feel like, oh my god, what is this inner child work? I don't understand and I don't want to do it. And maybe you might think that this might be something you don't want to do. So just hear me out. Like, I feel all the relationships in our life are basically trying to mirror some parts of us to ourselves, that they are trying to show you how would you evolve, grow, or learn from what you are seeing or observing or judging in those you love, especially your closer circle around you, be it your husband, be it your kids. So when it comes to kids specifically, I think that we are always reacting or acting from the place of our inner child wounds. So growing up, we have all acquired certain set of messages, beliefs, and we have over the years, as we grow older, have anchored into them, believed into them, changed a few, questioned a few, and maybe some we don't even know we have them, but we still continue to believe them. And we think many a times that when we are dealing with our kids and when we are telling them to shift something, change something, we are thinking that we are telling them to shift that, change that, or pay attention to that because that is better for them and that is something that they should be working on, versus sometimes we don't realize that maybe that is something that was undone or not done with your inner child. Let me give you an example instead of talking a little bit might feel random. So one of the recent example was, I was talking to a mom and she kept telling me that Roma, I just feel like my child doesn't get it. She is a teenager and she's at this age, and how come, like, basic things like taking out lunch boxes from her bag, making her bed after she wakes up, like some basic things like that, keeping her things back, leaving her socks wherever. And then she kept telling me about how it's so annoying that the kids are growing up, they're becoming teens, they want all these other things, but they are not doing these basic things. And I keep telling them, but they're still not doing it. And I thought that was a wonderful example, because my son, who's almost 13, is still not doing those things, even though we tell him, like, please pick up your night suit from the bathroom after you finish showering, and he wouldn't. So he still doesn't many a times. Some days it's hanging and it's a surprise and it's amazing, but most of the times it's not. And so we were talking about something like this, and then we started getting into a conversation about the mom questioning that when I was growing up, these things didn't happen. Our parents told us what to do and we listened to them. And you may realize, like in this moment, that every time when we are parenting our kids, we are constantly comparing it to ourselves in our time of growing up. So where are you going back to your inner child, to your childhood, to how it was done for you? And that has set precedence in your mind about what the level of parenting it should be. And even though you know that you have evolved and you do a lot of things way more differently than your parents did, and you appreciate that, you acknowledge that, even though you know that it's a totally different time that your kids are growing up in, but many a times we set precedents in our mind that that's our comparison place. That's where we go back to at all times when we are comparing about our kids. So to answer, you must be thinking, what was the answer to that question? How do I get my kids to do the chores? I don't have a direct answer. The answer is with you. The answer is with your inner child. So this mom asked me that, so what do I do? How do I change that? And she's like, how many times do I do it for them? And should I keep doing it for them? And one thing that she came to realize for herself, that after I asked her a few questions, was that why do I have to take care and clean their bed at all times? Why can't I give myself the permission that there are days I might feel like doing it, so go ahead and do it. But there are days you may not feel like doing it, so go ahead and not do it and be okay with it. Because the truth is that your child doesn't come home complaining to you, why is my bed not made today? Because he or she knows it's their responsibility to do it. But if it is not done, they aren't complaining to you. So what I'm trying to get at is really not what's the solution versus where does the problem live within you, and what do you need in this moment to tend to yourself. And one of the things that this mom found out is that I just need to sometimes let go and sometimes give myself and her some slack around how much I'm expecting for her to get this right, do this well. It's almost feeling like, and this is what the mom ended up realizing, that it's almost feeling like I am putting her and myself on some kind of a time clock, thinking that, oh my God, time is running out. You need to learn all these skills, these basic skills. You need to know how to do your organization, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't have it in place, you're missing out on something. And we are trying to constantly fix these small things around our kids or ourselves, because we are thinking, if we can control that, we can control our kids' life. And who wants control? The reason we want control is because somewhere deep down inside, our inner child is not feeling safe if she or he doesn't have that. Some messaging has been given to us that if you can control everything and everyone around you, somehow you will then save yourself or will protect yourself from feeling fear or letting something bad happen to you. So it was a deeper realization of this mom to really anchor into how things were coming up from her own childhood, and how the lack of not being able to give yourself grace, not being able to tend to your inner child and be like, oh my God, when I see my child does that, it really brings out the fears of my inner child. And I wish I had learned this sooner than later. So I want to make sure that my child gets it right now and can deal with it and manage it, etc. And so I just feel that it's not worth it. I just feel that what is really not worth it is that, why are we spending moments in our life being stressed about a mess that eventually can be figured out, even if we come from a place of love, compassion, and can have a healthy conversation about it. So I'm not perfect, but I wanted to give you an example. So making bed was one of the things that I'm always talking to my kids about and hoping that sooner or later they would take responsibility of it. And so one day, my daughter got this new desk pad or something on which you can write messages. So she writes her agenda for the next day on it, and sometimes messages to herself or whatever. So I made her bed one morning, and then I wrote on that bed that hope you enjoy sleeping on a well-made bed. And she woke up, and the next day, and she probably saw it like when she came from school in the night. I don't know when she saw it, but the next day when I went into her room, her bed wasn't made. And then obviously I went to make her bed again because I had the bandwidth, I had the time, so I thought I'll do it. So I went there to make her bed again, and I saw the note that thank you so much, Mama, for doing it for me. I promise you I'll do it tomorrow. And of course the bed wasn't made tomorrow. It wasn't made the next day. But I think that these are the exact moments in our life when we can teach our kids what it feels like to fail, what it feels like to make a promise and not be able to fulfill it. Because however she woke up the next day, like I don't even remember right now, but like she probably woke up grumpy, she probably woke up tired or whatever, but for whatever reason the bed wasn't made. And so I erased the rest of the notes. I left her note where she wrote that I promised to make my bed today, and I wrote a message for her the next day that even though you didn't make your bed and you broke your promise, I still love you, and I know that you will make your bed soon, right? And I think that that was a very powerful message, that sometimes when we are yelling at our kids that, oh my God, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. Sometimes the message they are taking is that my mom doesn't like me when I'm imperfect, when I'm messing up. She only likes me when I'm perfect. So we are also giving them the message of people pleasing. And so when I told her that I still love you for the fact that you didn't make your bed, and this is something we have been fighting and quarreling over, she just the next day, I don't know what message she wrote, but like I remember her coming back from school and giving me a hug, and she's like, thank you so much for making me my bed again, and thank you for loving me for not even making my bed. So I don't know, like there are still days, like today her bed wasn't made in the morning. There are still days where she hasn't made her bed. I don't know if this is gonna make her make the bed sooner than later, but somewhere this is sending the message to her that you are loved even when you are messing up. You are loved even when you are failing. You are loved even when you haven't still understood how to keep your promises to yourself. And knowing that you are loved becomes easier for an individual to make progress, to change, to work better for themselves, versus coming from a place of, oh my God, I'm so bad, my mom hates me now because I don't make my bed, and oh my God, I'm never gonna get it right, and I need to please her, and only when I do the right thing she loves me. So these are just few things. I don't know if this is resonating with you, but these are just few things that I feel we don't pay attention to. These are the small day-to-days of our life where I wish that our parents had given us another message. Then we wouldn't have been the programmed, conditioned adult human being that we are today. And it just brings me down to my roots, trying to understand and trying to see that how each moment of our life, each action of our life can be such a powerful way of communicating to our kids, when we are coming from a healed inner child place, communicating to our kids our needs, our wants, and letting them know that it's not perfect, and you are probably failing at many things in a day and succeeding at more things in a day, but it's okay. Irrespective of either or, failing or succeeding, you are loved. Irrespective of whether you are having a great day or a bad day, you still have to make choices for the next day to make it a better or a or a worse day. And so I just feel like this is a lifelong learning lesson, right? it isn't something that we can teach our kids in one go. And I'm so glad it isn't. The fact that our kids are with us for so many years of our life, and that they stay so close with us in our home, is the biggest, greatest opportunity for you to continue to work on yourselves by addressing your inner child, by talking to yourself about what about their actions is triggering me. What are they doing that is really annoying me or that is hurting me right now, and how can I resolve that within me before blaming them or putting the finger out on them that you do this and this, and so it makes me feel like this. Like, there are many levels, many things that are coming to my mind right now that I want to talk about and bring forth in our workshop. But this was just like a quick teaser about what all are the things that are happening around us, especially with our kids, that are actually triggering our inner child. And that is why we are feeling constantly like we are hitting a roadblock. And this is just something that I wanted to share with all of you, and see if this is something that might resonate with you. And if you want to sign up for this workshop, I'll be excited. I'll be like really thrilled to see you live on Monday at 12 p.m. EST, and the link to register will be in the email. So take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Next Wednesday maybe, or the one after that. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm excited, and I hope that your journey of being your best self continues forever. Enjoy it. Take care.